Hey, this is Yuri and welcome to Blauparts. Today we're going to be demonstrating how you can change the rear differential gear oil on a 2005 Ford F-350. This is going to apply to all Ford F-350 dual rear wheel axle trucks from model year 1999 to 2016 that were equipped with a Dana 80 rear axle and some F-450 trucks that were optioned with a Dana 80 axle. Ford's recommended gear oil for the Dana 80 was a 75W90 viscosity GL5. However, since this truck is going to be used consistently for pulling, we're going to be using a 75W140 GL5 to provide some additional shear stability, which will reduce wear on the differential's internal components. The Dana 80 rear differential was also used in a variety of other trucks, such as the Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500 models, and some Chevrolet or GMC C3500 HD models. So this demonstration would also apply to those. There will probably be some slight visual differences around the differential cover area depending on the exact year and model you're doing this service on, but the general steps will still apply. Also, there were some different gear oil viscosity recommendations between Ford, Dodge, and GM for the Dana 80 rear differentials. We'll leave a link in the description below for you to learn more about these differences, as well as the fill capacities and differential fluid change intervals for the Dana 80 axle. For this demonstration, we're going to be using one of our convenient pre-assembled Blau differential fluid change kits that features the Uroil Fulltrax 75W140 GL5 gear oil for the rear differential. It's a fully synthetic gear oil with a limited slip additive blended into its formulation, so no separate friction modifiers would need to be added when using this gear oil in a limited slip differential. Uroil has been Europe's premier lubricant manufacturer, producing world-class products for over 40 years. They've won multiple championships in the most difficult off-road truck races in the world, the Dakar Rally. To learn more about Uroil and our convenient differential fluid change kits, check out the link in the description below. So let's get started. Begin by confirming that the rear differential is warm. This allows the fluid to drain more thoroughly while it's being drained. During the fluid change, the vehicle and differential will need to be in a level position. Most Ford F-350 rear differential gear oil changes can be done on a flat, level surface without lifting the vehicle. In our case, we're going to be gaining access to the bottom side of the vehicle by using an automotive lift. To confirm you're lifting the vehicle correctly, you can reference your factory owner's manual for the proper vehicle lift point locations and safety procedures. Next, thoroughly clean the surrounding areas around the differential cover from excess debris, corrosion, and rust. In our case, we're using a wire brush and a small amount of solvent. This will minimize contaminating the differential with debris while the cover is removed. Next, locate the rear differential fluid fill plug located on the rear right side of the differential cover. Using a small pick or screwdriver, ensure that the square bit area of the drain plug is free from excess rust and corrosion. This will ensure that the bit seats correctly into the drain plug, minimizing the possibility of rounding or stripping the drain plug. Using a 1/2-inch square bit socket or ratchet, loosen and remove the fill plug in a counterclockwise direction. Loosening the fill plug before draining the differential fluid confirms you have a way to refill the differential in case the fill plug is seized and can't be removed. Next, begin removing the rear differential cover. This is held in place with 10 mounting bolts. Using a 9/16 socket and ratchet, loosen all mounting bolts in a counterclockwise direction. If your truck is located in a snowy region and is exposed to large amounts of road salt, be careful not to shear or strip the mounting bolts. And in some cases, some penetrating oil may be necessary. Remove all mounting bolts but a few to support the cover. In our case, we're leaving 3 mounting bolts threaded loosely into the axle. This will hold the cover in place while using a hammer and large screwdriver to lightly pry and release the differential cover from the axle, allowing the old gear oil to drain into a suitable waste oil drain pan. During this process, be extremely careful not to groove or scar the axle gasket sealing areas during the differential cover removal, as this could later cause leaks when resealing the differential. Next, remove the remaining mounting bolts along with the differential cover. While wearing protective gloves, use your fingers to direct the remaining pooled gear oil and sediment out of the bottom area of the differential. Clean rags can also be used to absorb the gear oil and sediment from this area. During this process, we suggest not using solvents on the internal components of the differential. Some solvents may have a negative effect on certain materials used in the differential. Allowing the axle to drain for around 1 hour is best. This will allow for a thorough drain of the axle tubes and differential. Once you have confirmed the differential is thoroughly drained, begin cleaning the axle gasket sealing area using some clean rags and a gasket scraper. Ensure that the differential does not get contaminated with debris. Always cover the differential with clean rags and direct any old gasket material and debris out and away from the differential when cleaning. In some instances, a medium grit conditioning pad can be used to clean the axle gasket surface area. With the axle gasket sealing area thoroughly cleaned, you can now move on to cleaning the differential cover. Remove the old gasket material, debris, and old gear oil residue. This can be done using a light amount of solvent with rags, a gasket scraper, and in some instances, a conditioning pad can be used. Again, be extremely careful not to groove or scar the gasket sealing areas of the differential cover, as this could later cause leaks when resealing the differential. Next, to ensure a quality seal between the axle and differential cover, use a clean rag with solvent on it, and wipe the gasket mating surfaces of both the axle and differential cover clean of all oil residue. Next, begin reinstalling the differential cover back onto the axle. In our case, we're going to be using a gasket rather than RTV silicone to seal the differential cover. With well-prepared and clean gasket sealing surfaces, no additional sealants are typically needed when using a gasket. To reference the gasket being used, please see the video description. Align the differential cover and gasket with the bolt holes, and begin threading the mounting bolts in by hand. Also confirm you are reinstalling the differential manufacturer identification tags during this process. Work your way around the differential cover, evenly tightening the bolts in an alternate sequence by hand. This will ensure that the gasket is evenly compressed and seals properly. Next, evenly torque the differential cover mounting bolts in an alternate crisscross sequence. In our case, we're tightening them to a 30 foot-pound torque specification. Next, thoroughly clean the dirty metallic sediment found on the fill plug magnet. Also clean the fill plug threads from excess rust, corrosion, and debris. Next, begin filling the differential with the recommended Dana 80 gear oil specification. In our case, we're using an SAE 75W 140 viscosity with a GL5 limited slip specification. The correct fluid level has been achieved when a stream of fluid begins overflowing from the differential fluid fill port. The fill capacity for the Ford F-350 Dana 80 rear differential is 4 liters or 4.25 quarts. Next, apply a small amount of automotive grade thread sealant or RTV on the fill plug threads to ensure a quality seal, and reinstall the fill plug by threading it in a clockwise direction. Using a 1/2-inch square bit or 1/2-inch torque wrench, tighten the fill plug in a clockwise direction. In this instance, we're tightening it to a 24 foot-pound torque specification. Next, using a rag, clean and remove the excess fluid from the differential cover and fill plug areas. The differential should be completely cleaned from any fluid residue. This will help when later inspecting and confirming that the rear differential does not have any leaks after performing your fluid change. So that's a quick overview on how to change the rear differential gear oil on a 1999 to 2016 Ford F-350 with a Dana 80 rear differential. If you have any other questions or for more information on the differential gear oils we offer for the Ford Super Duty trucks, feel free to visit our website at Blauparts.com. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.
rocket